I'd like to call the town board meeting to order at 7 p.m. with the pledge to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to do a moment of silence for the past town residents we have lost this year. Thank you. Fire notices, there's an exit out here to the left if you go to the kitchen, and then if you go to the back door, it's to the right. Linda, can you do roll call, please?
Councilman Hurley.
Here.
Councilman Moore.
Here.
Councilman Nelson.
Present.
Councilman Wells.
Here.
Supervisor Hoffman.
Here. The supervisor report is posted on the wall over there for anybody that would like to look at it. Did you guys get a chance to look at it? Town clerk report.
The town clerk's office took in $39.50 in February in dog license fees.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes as reviewed from the last town board meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Passes. I'd like to make a motion that we pay the town bills, claim 68 through 90 for a total of $7,350.64. And highway town bills, claim 91 through 100, total of $27,378.66.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes, no nays. Committee reports. Councilman Moore.
It's on.
No, I turned it off. Ain't catching me with a hot mic. The highway department, let me tell you something, did a very excellent job. The snow removal again. And Al, you gotta give the boys a pat on the back there. And I seen that, what they were doing, I asked about a question that was in the garage today. And they bought some parts online. A small little belt with a sander. A vendor wanted $79 for that. They bought it online, they bought two of them for $12. They bought some other stuff that a vendor wanted a lot of money for the same thing, and they got it dirt cheap. So shopping online, you know, for small stuff, you know, I think they're doing a great job.
It makes a big difference.
It made a big difference, yeah, the two belts, it showed me the belts today, I couldn't believe how small they were for that kind of money, but they did an excellent job. So, that's all I have with them.
Thank you, Councilman Harley.
I have nothing this week.
Thank you, Councilman Nelson.
I do not have anything this month either.
Thank you, Councilman Wells.
Code Enforcement Officer Calgero collected $50 in abstracts this past month. There's been a few inquiries about new permits, again for small things going on. Nothing's been issued as far as permits go. We did have, for those who don't know, there was one fire in the Meadows a couple weeks ago. That is currently, blocked off, caution tape up. He just put a new placard on it to make sure that no one was going in and out without authorization. That's it on that, and I'll leave it at that for now.
Alfie, you have anything?
No, Ed's pretty well covered there, whatever.
Old business?
The thing is about the, on the all business comprehensive plan, honestly, I'll just be blunt. I had open heart surgery January 17th, dropped the ball a little bit, feeling real well. I'll get all the information out this weekend for the next meeting when we're gonna do it. So I do apologize, my health just took a little turn for the worse, feeling pretty damn good today, so, so thank you for everyone's hearts and prayers. I got some cards and some phone calls from everyone in town, I really appreciate that, but that's the plan right now, and the lawyer will actually be joining us for a couple of those sessions so we get an idea and get on the right track. It's very important to do, so. All right, that's all I have for that today.
Thank you. New business, Samantha would like to go over the survey that was done last November until spring, I believe it was.
Yeah, so I'm gonna present back here where I've got the screen, so just give me 1 second. Sorry to make you all turn around. Let's see. All right, so good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me the chance to present this information. So in 2025, as part of the election, we ran a pretty wide-ranging survey to see what issues were important to the people of the town. So whoever won the election could use it to inform future policy. Obviously, we didn't win that election, but there is some really interesting information in here that I think, as in a nonpartisan way, could be really helpful for the board. So before I get into the data itself, I want to kind of address the elephant in the room. We did this survey during the 2025 election, so there was some question about the objectivity of the data. So we collected this in 2 rounds. The first round we did door-to-door in the spring, and those results skewed kind of left. The answers that you would see were more about valuing environmental conservation, groundwater, that sort of thing. Round 2, we got more responses through posting on a Facebook link on the I'm from Sauk Hill and Proud of It page. And those results would skew right to what you would expect. There's more emphasis on lower taxes, on business development, and that sort of thing. I do believe that we got a fairly well-rounded response, and that being said, I do think that a lot of the questions on here were pretty nonpartisan in nature. So, like I said, I think there's some good data in here that can help guide future policy. So this is, sorry for the small text, but there's a lot on here. So our first question is we asked what things people are most concerned about in the town, the things that matter most to them. And as you can see up at the top there, we have maintaining the current level of town services. This is going to be things like garbage collection, road maintenance, things like that. People are very, very proud of the services that we have, and there was very strong universal support for maintaining those. There's also very strong support for keeping taxes low, which is, to be expected, and protecting the sort of wild nature and the natural resources of our town. And the next one, more kind of upbeat question, is what do you love about our town? And again, over and over, we're hearing that people love the kind of quiet, small town character of our town, but also that we're close to the city of Kingston and that we have access to a lot of those conveniences. So generally, people feel safe here, which is great. I do want to point out that there was some disagreement about taxes. Many people said that they liked that we have low taxes as a town, but as we know, last year our taxes increased quite a bit. And this survey was taken even before that that increase. So even before that, some people are already saying that the taxes had gotten too high. So this one I think is interesting, just measuring the level of engagement of people in the town. And one thing personally that I would love to see is just the community getting more engaged with town governance and just getting to know each other. I know a lot of people are feeling alienated from each other, and I would really love to see some more community building events. I know Councilman Wells has been presenting some ideas on things that we could do for that, so if you're interested in volunteering for that, I would highly encourage you to talk to him. So groundwater. This is a huge issue in our town. A lot of people are very concerned about this. Obviously, Sweet Meadows is one of the parts of town where this is a very salient issue. For years there's been concerns about the high density with the septic systems, about the runoff from the dump, and I've also heard concerns about the salt on the roads in the winter leaking into the groundwater. I know that my neighbor has had to buy water during the winter because, like clockwork, every winter her well gets salty. So we heard a few comments about that. So some of the things that we were thinking could be something that the board could pursue would be well water testing the quality of people's wells, and just doing a groundwater inventory survey, seeing when people's wells go dry, where they go dry, and kind of building some data on that to help inform a lot of our zoning plans and our construction plans moving forward. So this one, almost universally, again, we heard that people love the garbage collection service in town. There's a very strong support for keeping it, even if it did require a tax increase. And anecdotally, we also heard support for the idea of a centralized recycling container in town, as bi-weekly pickups tend to not happen often enough. And raise your hand if recycling comes around and you have a giant mountain, right? So this one was an issue that actually came up part way through the survey. As you'll see, we only have 44 responses on this one. This wasn't actually on our radar until we started talking to people in this area that abuts Hill Road and Jockey Hill, where a lot of people were interested in rezoning this mixed-use area to strictly residential. And I do want to clarify that this would only apply to new construction. So any businesses that are already there, like Eastern Materials, they would be grandfathered in. If we changed the zoning there, they wouldn't be going anywhere. But I do know that the board did just recently vote on this, pausing commercial development up there until we can do a groundwater survey. And this was an idea that we really supported during the campaign because the tax revenue that comes in from housing is generally a lot higher than what you see from businesses. If you have 3 houses on a large plot of land that would be taken up by one industrial development, a lot of times you're going to get a much higher rate of return on tax revenue from that. We also heard a lot about the wear and tear on Jockey Hill and Hill roads from the truck traffic. And also just, this is a quiet residential town, and a lot of people wanted to see that reflected in our zoning. So this one, there is pretty strong consensus that our commercial corridor on Route 28 could be kind of promoted and enhanced a little bit. I think we were discussing this as a team. I think the big takeaway here is just making it easier for cars to stop at our businesses, either by lowering the speed limit or maybe adding a center turn lane there. I know, when I pull out of those businesses there, it's a little hairy because those cars screaming up that hill, you can't see anything. And I just don't love pulling out on that section of the road. So. And the last one is a bit more controversial. And as the owner of a single home myself, I want to take a lot of care on how I speak to this issue. While there was strong support for a permanent ban on new manufactured home parks, there was also some really strong and vocal disagreement about that. A lot of people saying that we really do need affordable housing in this community, and manufactured home parks offer that. On the other hand, we do have concerns about density, about the septic, where the water is going to come from. Those are all very strong issues. And also just in terms of non-local things that could make this a thorny issue is often manufactured home parks tend to be bought up by large firms that use them in their portfolio to kind of just jack up the price of the plots, because the people that live there often own the homes, but they don't own the plot of land that they're on. So, whoever owns that, if they're not a local person who has the best interests of our community in mind, can often just think of these as profit centers, and that's something to consider. So just generally, I would invite the board to use this data as you will, but take care when drawing up any possible legislation on this, one way or the other. And then just a few open-ended comments that were remarked on. These were things that we didn't include in the survey, but people wanted to express. These top three here were pretty often expressed. People were worried about unkept properties. We heard some comments about noise from people firing guns on their land. And then ADUs and Airbnbs came up a lot, both for and against. People wanted to have ADUs, some people didn't want to have ADUs, and then everyone has very strong opinions on Airbnbs. I don't need to lecture you on that. So there were also a few other interesting ones, like renaming the town Sawkill. I kind of like that one because I'm sick of telling people, oh, I'm from Kingston, the town of Kingston, not the city of Kingston. So so that was the results of the survey. So if you'd like to download it, there's the QR code for that, or you can just email me directly. I can send you the file. I'd like to open it up if anyone has any questions.
Very good.
Sorry, what? Thank you, Samantha. So, I'd like to, have the town board think about raising the senior exemptions income limit. It's at $20,000 right now. I'd like to have you guys thinking about raising it to $28,000. Right now, it's really low. And I just think we should give them a fighting chance at it. So we're bringing it up at the workshop meeting, and then hopefully we can make that work. Dan, you want to go over the updated proposed tax law you?
Yep. Sorry. There we go. Is that better? I did update the schedule of fees. They had not been updated for some time. Brought everything more up to par with what's going on. There are honestly some fees that we were getting from residents that, if you looked at our schedule of fees, officially we were charging you too much. It was like for dog fees, we're way below what they should have been, etc. We did add in certain things that were not in there from previous, but had been made into law, like peddlers fees. So if there is somebody coming into town who's trying to sell you steaks, I'll say, they should have a peddler's fee, license for the day, or for the year, depending on what they buy, and those fees are in here as well. There were a lot of fees that we were definitely behind on, and honestly, thanks to John Paul brought a lot of those to my attention, where we were, lack of a better term, we were throwing money away, because we were giving stuff away. None of these have gotten absorbent, they've just gotten more to the times. There were things that made, little to no sense, because again, the fees were that long removed. So we are making some changes to those. One of the ones that is in there ties into the proposed new updates to our refuse laws. As of right now, most people in this town, if you have a 96-gallon container from Waste Management, which most people have, some have smaller, you're all breaking the law. So I wanted to just update that to say, okay, I have a 96-gallon container that Waste Management gave me, and I'm not breaking the law, because it was 32 gallons was in our law.
Wow.
Right. So I've updated those. There were some ridiculous things too, like there were allowance for you could get as many cans as you want. Well, you can, but that comes at a cost, and it comes at a cost of everyone. So one of those fees that I did include into the fees is for additional totes. And we're not making any money on it, but we're not losing any money. So Waste Management charges us $90 for a 96-gallon container. If you want a second one, it costs $90, and we'll put it on your taxes. We're not gonna go back and start counting. If you have 2, 3, 17 at the moment, we're not gonna go back and go backwards, just like any other law would be grandfathered in. We're not gonna do something crazy like that. I've also included in the fees, like the spring cleanup fees are on here, so they're all automatically on the fee schedule. So you can go to the website at any time and see, oh, I have this mattress to get rid of, how much is it gonna cost me? You don't have to wait till the week before spring cleanup to know it's gonna be X dollars, all right? And most of the changes that I proposed to the refuse law is just wording. Things that were either worded incorrectly. It's stated, the old law stated that recycling was done every week, which, as we know with the new contract, it's not, it's bi-weekly. Is that something that could change down the road? Sure, but currently it's wrong, so that's, another change I made to it. I'll put the proposal forward for the workshop meeting to make those changes to the law, and then we'll have a public hearing on it, etc. But if anybody wants to take a look at it, just let me know, and I'll gladly email you a copy of what I put together, so you have a head start on it. I think that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion, we go to executive session for, an employee issue.
Could you form that more succinctly?
Dave, can you,
So it's the employment history of a particular employee.
Thank you.
thank you.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, no nays.
Got an ETA?
Not long.
3 hours.
5 hours. I make a motion that we close the executive session.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, no nays.
Aye. I'd like to make a motion to approve, Roemer, Wallens, Gold, and Mineaux LLP to represent the town of Kingston in connection with all personal matters for general approval for employee advice.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do a roll call vote.
Yep.
Councilman Hurley,
Yes.
Councilman Moore,
Yes.
Councilman Nelson,
Yes.
Councilman Wells,
Yes.
Supervisor Hoffman.
Yes.
Vote carries 5-0.
just to give you an idea, we have an employee issue that we're dealing with, so we needed an attorney to take care of that issue, so outside of our regular attorney, so that's what that's about. You look like you had a question, Kathy, so I'm trying to address it as fast as I can, so.
Well, thank you.
So, and that's about as much detail as I can go into today, all right? So that's about. Sorry it took so long. All right, moving on to the next thing.
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Jimmy Miggins to the board ZBA.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All, it passes, no nays. And then I would like to make a motion that we appoint John Hubschman to the planning board as a alternate.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, no nays.
I would like to make a motion to approve John Paul Silva to the planning board. Silva, sorry, John Paul, I mess up your last name all the time.
It's
Just know I care in my heart, you know what I mean? Like, I'm very clear about it, so.
I'm used to it at this point in life.
So, I call you John Paul all the time at least now, every time. We got that part of it, so I'd like to make that motion.
I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Any opposed?
I oppose.
One opposed, 3 for it. So that motion carries.
I would like to make one more motion. I would like to make John Paul the chairman of the planning board.
I second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Nay.
4 yeses and 1 nay. Motion carries.
Thank you for all your help and everything, John Paul.
Thanks.
Question and comments?
No, you were doing it.
So I was reading the Freeman the other day, and there was an article that came out about a week ago about some proposed legislation in Ulster County that I thought was really interesting. So they're proposing a 10% property tax reduction as a tax exemption for primary residences, and then that shortfall will be made up by short-term rentals and then people who own second houses. And it does say that if they approve that law, that each municipality will have to agree or disagree whether they want to adopt that. Personally, to me, it sounds like a slam dunk. You know, I live on Ruby Road, and within spitting distance, there's 4 houses that are short-term rentals and secondary residences, and it's a little sad that I miss out on having 4 neighbors who could, contribute to the community. So, I just wanted to bring that to your all attention if you weren't aware of it, and kind of voice my support for it if it passes.
Thank you. Hunter?
Oh, I was
Oh,
gonna
sorry, Larry.
say the same thing, so also
Larry?
in favor.
I'm the one who's complaining about not using microphones, I'm going up to the microphone.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, could you step to the mic?
In watching Samantha's presentation, I think it was an excellent presentation, by the way, very nice. There was one thing in there that I wanted to make a comment on though, renaming the town to Sawkill. I'd like to remind the board that Sawkill is just one small section of the town. There are many other sections of the town that are still in the town of Kingston.
7 hamlets,
Yeah,
I think, right?
I believe it's 7. And I've had some of the people from those areas, when I was on the board, complain to me that all the attention seems to go to Sawkill. It's the town of Kingston. It's not the town of Sawkill. Although it's probably the most populated area of the town, it's still not the whole town. So I just wanted to make that mention. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Where's that boundary? Where's that boundary that makes Sawkill?
Separate from the other.
They're all hamlets.
How many more
Linda's
are
actually
there?
working on the maps of all the different areas, because you have Sleepy Hollow.
Hollow, Stony Hollow,
You have Stony Hollow, you have Sawkill, you have Sweet Meadows, you have
Callahan Hill.
Hallahan Hill, you have Maury Hill, they're all listed as separate hamlets within the town of Kingston. It's like if you go to a Sopus, you have Sopus, you have Port Ewan, you have Ulster Park, all within the grand scheme of the Sopus. But yeah.
So Sawkill gets the most publicity because it's the meadows.
And the meadows and the creek runs through it, so
Yeah.
everybody thinks Sawkill Creek, that's
Yeah.
the Sawkill, that's Sawkill.
Don't flood at the top of Callahan Hill. Get the
That's
attention.
very true.
Thank you.
any more comments or questions? I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Second.
Thank you, Samantha, for your, all in favor, aye?
Good meeting.
Thank you.